Welcome back to the Culture Crusade. We missed everyone last week. Sorry, apologies, had a scheduling conflict. But now we're back, and there are some fun things to talk about. How is everyone, though, before we dive right into it? John, Mike, good to see you, gentlemen.
Welcome.
Doing well.
Doing well.
Yeah,
Hey, so
better.
Oh, good. Yes. Do you know, the main topic today is going to be talking about One Piece. Is it woke or is it not? The Zegler is back, and also Firefly. So those are the main topics I want to talk about. But there's other topics that are really interesting that I'd like to jump up to. And one kind of just dropped this morning, which is really causing a ruckus. So the first thing, let's talk about that. Let's talk about this controversial thing that is happening in the video game sphere. Gentlemen, have you heard of a thing called DLSS 5?
No.
It's been crossing my vision and on my screen all day today. Usually when I see Nvidia in front of something, it usually involves PC specs. And I've been a console normie all my life, okay? I was never a huge PC gamer. I did have some games on PC, but, so when it comes down to the whole aspect of being, involved in the technical aspects and building your own, that kind of stuff always flies over my head, but I have kind of seen what this is. And it's very interesting.
People have a lot of comments about it. And it seems like so many people hate it. And I'm like, I don't know. But like, all right, so NVIDIA GeForce announces the new DLSS, and it's DLSS 5. Now, DLSS is a graphical feature which focuses on using not generative AI, to my understanding. It does use AI to upscale certain graphical features, right? And so it's a top layer render that's been around for a while. Okay, this is the 5th iteration of it, and this is doing something kind of interesting with lighting. Now, right here, just look at the comments. So we see Savvy there. No one asked for this. So you're saying that
I'm sold.
Phil, you. That's what people are thinking. That's not what this is. This is not the actual AI generative over render, to my understanding. But okay, this one's funny. DLSS 5 looks like crap, be honest. It looks like AI slop, be honest. I only hate it because it's AI. If the developer made it look this good, I would love it. And there's like, yeah, thank you. That, like, people's rejection seems to be because they think it is generative AI. But let's take a look at what it's doing, okay? And this is their kind of example. So this is the native with the DLSS 5 off, and that's with it on. So it's like a lighting layer render that redoes lighting everything that's based on the geometry of the actual video. It's not changing the geometry. And so the idea that you can AI someone to have bigger breasts, that is not what it's doing at all by the look of it. But people are treating it like it is. And I'm like, hang on, okay. I look at this. That one actually looks like more of an AI render, honestly. So maybe there is some AI rendering going on. Because to me, this is added texture that wasn't in the geometry of the model. Maybe, like, do you see the folds in the eyes? Maybe it was there. This is hard for me to see, determine. What do you guys think? Do you see like this versus this? Do you reckon that is adding details like an AI render over
Zoom
top?
it out again. Zoom it back again.
Zoom it back. So here.
Yeah, it's just making it look more photorealistic.
It seems like it.
Maybe a little bit, but it's starting to give a little bit of a PS4 versus PS2 rendered cutscenes kind of a discrepancy. We're reaching a point, where graphical fidelity is not going to be the selling point for a lot of game systems going forward. Otherwise, it would have sold more modern systems.
Yeah.
it's interesting to think about what it could do if it was overlaying the game with different skins and stuff like that. Some people have postulated on social media that that's what's going on. And I think Shad, didn't we mention that a couple weeks ago, that if you were able to just say, hey, let me play Resident Evil 9 in original pixel graphics, and it did overlay the entire game like that, that would be something that would interest me.
And interest me as well. And that is using like full-on generative AI layer rendering. I actually don't know if that is this. Maybe it's the first step towards it, but it is based, they're calling it DLSS 5. And so in regards to DLSS 5, right?
What's that stand for?
Well, I'll bring it up. So DLSS meaning is deep learning super sampling. Okay. In the
blast processing.
It's an Nvidia AI-powered upscaling technology exclusive to the RTX GPUs that boost frame rates while maintaining high image quality. It works by rendering games at low resolution and using tensor cores to intelligently upscale, reduce GPU load. The key features include super resolution frame generation and ray reconstruction. And
so this uses less energy, as in better for the environment, and all the green people should be happy about it.
I mean, that description, I'm not sure if this applies to DLSS 5, but that description is not generative AI, especially if it's just using an overtop layer to do additional ray tracing, which is tracing the light sources and where it bounces and stuff.
Well, the important part on the GPU usage is it's lowering the polys, basically.
Yeah.
Right. So it's using less power, but it's using this other layer to upscale the graphics.
And this is the thing. I don't know why people are getting so bent out of it, because this sounds like it's going to be an optional feature. If you do not like this, you literally have your graphical settings and you can turn off DLSS, right? And so I'm a little confused why people are spurging out about it. And it really feels like the main reason people are spurging out about it because they think it's generative AI, and generative AI is the boogeyman. You must hate it, right? That kind of feels like that's causing so much of the backlash to this. Now, to me, I think a lot of this does actually legitimately look better. But if you don't like it, don't use it. Now, there was a comment that I highlighted before that one of the reasons people don't like it, it does seem like it's giving an AI look. Like this one does look more like an AI kind of render. I personally have no problem with the AI look, but people have been conditioned to hate it because it's AI. But that versus that, one to me is objectively superior and has more detail. Right?
Well, I mean, the whole point over these years is that these things are getting more and more realistic. AI is just going to make that happen faster.
Yeah. And when we get to the full-blown generative AI render layer over top, like then we're going to...
that objectively looks better.
Exactly. Like that one is... Look at that versus that. That's a bit...
Gosh, that looks like it's going from PS2 to PS4 graphics.
It's like 720 to 4K.
This one actually makes me feel like there might be some generative AI going on, because look at the like the model. That's a huge difference. That's not just retracing light sources to me. That's like actually doing something far more. That is a huge difference.
See, I know it's been raising a little stink online, because anytime anything like AI and whatever pops up, everyone. A certain class of people kind of lose their collective marbles over it. But in the end, what's going to matter, a lot of normies really just don't care. Now, it looks nicer, Starfield. It's not going to make your gameplay better, though.
Yes, yeah. The fundamental thing is gameplay. But I'm a graphics snob. I love things looking better and more realistic. And that makes it more immersive. I love details. I'm a very visual person that way. And so I think this honestly, a lot of this looks pretty cool. Like, look at this. This one, like, wow, that one's like
in 4K.
But if you don't like it, don't use it. Like, if this is generative AI, this is where it is getting pushed, where you could actually start doing like changing colors of clothes, changing faces, and even more. And people are already like trying. It's not nearly there yet, but like, we saw that tweet from Phil, and this is where other people are kind of wondering. So if DLSS 5 isn't just an upscaler and a detail, it uses some kind of transformer model to actually change the image itself in real time. That means it's theoretically capable of changing the look of characters depending on how the DLSS 5 can. I don't think the DLSS 5 is going to be capable to this level, but I mean, I'm not saying this is what I would use it for, but what we're talking about the other week, where what if you want an anime style, or you want an old school graphic style, or you want a photorealistic style? If we're getting in that direction, I'm all here for it. I'm like, bring it on, baby. I can't wait. That's friggin' awesome. And yeah, if we could choose the level of detail, right, and have a lot of options in the way it works, I think I don't see why people are getting so bent out of it. And then if you don't like it, just don't use it. But
at this point, it's just become Pavlov's reaction,
Almost. Like, so let's look at some of the kind of reactions and comments I've seen. So Grums is saying it's the same geometry. And in this one, this looks like same geometry, but it's like redoing the textures entirely.
Yeah, it's all rendering.
And so again, it makes me confused as to what level of generative AI is being implemented here. It's hard to actually say.
Well, it's just like all those filters you see. It's like, oh, upres this image. It's just AI upresing. That's basically
kind of. Okay, and so like Endymion, he clearly is against it. He says, I've seen enough about NVIDIA's new DLSS 5. We have to nuke it from orbit because what the F is that? I don't see what's causing such a reaction between this. Like, why? I don't see what. It's just because it looks AI, and is that because? And that's making people hate it. Like that one confuses me. Okay, and so there's another complaint. It's like, I can't believe that NVIDIA looked at this AI on top of games filter and said to themselves, this is the future of gaming. Like it or not, this is where NVIDIA is heading, and they're calling it neural rendering with DLSS 5. The examples I've shown remind me a lot of the AI-generated filter videos on top of GTA 5, except that now it's supposed to run real time. That's not a negative when I hear that. I'm thinking, cool. Now there was an interesting comment. Where was it? It was up here. Oh no, this is okay. You shouldn't be. Listen, I like DLSS. It's a marvel of modern computing, but this will make every game look like crappy AI face filters was applied. It undermines all the creative effort of studios that work so hard designing characters, art, and actual abomination. It's just the same bad AI kind of rhetoric. And if you don't like it, don't use it. Okay, that's kind of where I'm at with it.
I can see one aspect where this would be a negative, where if it got used on enough, it would end up making a lot of games look like they had the same art style, which it's never a great thing. But I think the examples that they're giving are for the games that are intended for a much more higher graphical fidelity, and not something that has an intended art style.
But what if
you're not going to do this with Crash Bandicoot?
Yeah. What if you could choose the art style?
That would be interesting.
I want to see it with Crash Bandicoot.
What if you could take Crash Bandicoot and actually make it look like 3D animation, something like into Pixar, but maintaining the actual appearance of the character still in the geometry? I think that would be great.
I would want it to be like realistic. That'd be kind of funny. That'd be really creepy.
Yeah, those realistic pictures of the Simpsons, like that.
It'd be like a creepypasta.
So this is an interesting comment, right? It says, everyone is hating on NVIDIA's DLSS 5. I think they're all wrong. DLSS 1 got destroyed. It became the standard. RTX got clowned. It became the standard. Ray tracing got mocked. It became the standard. Every time NVIDIA ships something new, gamers riot. Every time 2 years later, they can't live without it. 8,000 people liked a reply saying this looks horrifically bad. The same people will pre-order the GPUs that runs it. NVIDIA didn't become the $3 trillion company $3 trillion company by listening to reply guys. They became one by being right before everyone else was ready. Hate it now, beg for it later. That's the Nvidia cycle. Look, I think there might be some truth to what we're saying, but maybe not completely, though. The element of truth is that the outrage mob does not represent the broader consumer base nearly any time. And it's like the whole, Karen's on social media trying to say, Marvel Comics is misogynistic. You need to have more representation. Then they make woke slop. No one buys it because they're a loud minority. I wonder if that might be what's going on here with DLSS 5, where people are just knee-jerk spurging out saying it's AI bad, when I don't see this as a big issue. If you don't like it, don't use it. But it seems like it's going to give some really cool options to increasing visual fidelity, even perhaps upscaling further, in resolution, higher frame rates even. And maybe if it is actually based on generative AI technology, you can then start to manipulate the visual style to your liking. And if that's the case, I'm fully on board. I'm like, sweet, let's go. But that's what's happening at the moment. And the general consensus is very negative. People are not liking it. We will see what the broader reaction is when it's released and if it'll increase sales and if people use it in games.
Here's the thing, though, I can't hate on it because there's an option in Baldur's Gate 3 to enhance your graphics with AI if you have an NVIDIA graphics card.
Oh, really?
I did that. I'm not sure how much it improved. I guess it's kind of improved very little, but it did have that option, and I did check it. I looked because the example it gives you examples like here's what it looks like if you do the regular high graphics, and it shows you like, oh, it looks pretty good. Here's what it looks like if you do AI, and it's like there's a trade-off, like the nature looks better, shadows look better, but there's some other things that look a little bit off. But essentially what it came down to is that the AI enhanced, I liked a little bit better. So I went with the AI version.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So here's some more details that Grum's actually shared about this. So everything we know about it, you can see Digital Foundry's draw drop in this reaction. They just saw DLSS. So developers are actually getting blown away by this. They're really impressed. It'll ship in the fall of 2026. The demo ran 4K on two 5090s, but is already running on a single GPU in their labs. So maybe my 4090 might be able to handle this. I don't have a 5090. That's like the cream of the crop at the moment. They're expensive as hell. Okay, doesn't change the scene or geometry, just relights it super accurately. That's kind of what it looked like, but some of those details seemed like they weren't part of the geometry, like especially the textures it was adding. So I actually don't know about that. So as NVIDIA says, they look at this as trying to anticipate the original fully realized vision of the game, works on environments, not just characters. And there's some more examples of the environments. Yeah, look at this. This one's interesting. So this is DLSS 5 on environments.
Oh, he looks real.
Yeah, I know. Wow, look at him. All right, so this is with it on and then off. Do you see the difference? So that's the environment change right there. There to there. I'm not sold on that one. I'm like, I don't know.
I wonder how stressful it'll be on your PC.
A little.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that it's got much greater kind of depth in these trees here, but I don't think it's actually a huge improvement on the environment, this one. Yeah, and so there might be games where I actually don't choose it if I don't think it's really enhancing it that much. Well, that was a big change, though. Crap. Look at that.
Well, if it's going to lower your power, you'd use it anyways.
Yeah, there's that. Oh, I think that one is like, okay, maybe that one does look a lot better.
It's kind of in a movie.
Yeah, this is Elder Scrolls remastered, I'm pretty sure. And so look at this, and then it's on. I'm like, ooh, that looks good.
Go back to the original.
There, that's the original there.
Yeah. See, the original, you have more atmospherics. In the other one, you have so much contrast, you lose the sense of depth.
But the depth is there. Look at this
right,
shadow.
but you don't want the depth in objects that are farther away. That's the atmospherics.
See, I don't know. Like, I think this is going to be very much based on personal preference. If people like what it does, they'll use it, and if they don't, they won't use it. And so developers can tune DLSS 5 lighting. Todd Howes is sign off on it. Yeah, it works on environments you can apply to games as primitive as Minecraft. It's not just for high-end games. I want to see it. I want to see it. Maybe I'll hate it.
They did high-res mods of Minecraft. Nobody freaking played them.
They actually look good, though.
Yeah, but nobody's played them.
My son plays some of those.
I want to see realistic Minecraft. I want to see like the wrinkles and the face folds and like Steam and stuff.
Yeah. Developers are already on board, should scale with output resolution. And look, this is one of the comments. I don't think I've seen a demo this astonishing as this. And so developers seem to be pretty jazzed about it. I'm like, I'll see when it comes out. And if it makes things look better, and I think some of the examples it really did, I'm all on board. I'm like, hey, I'd use it. And if people don't like it, then they don't have to.
How dare you give me options?
I know.
They're going to put that in the PlayStation 6, and the devs are still going to be like, sorry, guys, your games are still locked at 30 FPS.
Possibly. Hey, all right. Let me check off if there's any other kind of stuff that we might want to look at today, because the main topic, well, depending on how long we want to discuss it, it's going to be One Piece. Maybe we should jump to that now.
We can talk about first, me turning Egg and Doug into Calvin and Hobbes.
How? Actually, I want to quickly hit this one. Maybe this won't take as long, but this is just amazing. I Rachel Zegler, gentlemen. Rachel Zegler. She's done yeah, I know, right? She's done a new interview, and
she apparently thinks she was born in the 40s.
Oh my gosh,
she's so dumb.
She is her own worst enemy. She is so like immature. I think that's the best way to put it. She's so immature. She hasn't woken up to the reality of her situation in life. And she's so desperate to be a victim and a minority. And because it gives some points. And to me, she's basically a kid. But how old is she now? She's definitely 20-something, right?
She's like 20-something. Yeah.
And so that does, like, the fact that she's so mature isn't an excuse, because she should be smarter than this. And it's just like so many people, like especially on the younger end of adulthood, are just in arrested development where they just can't wake up and actually understand certain things. So she's done this interview, right, where it's obviously like she has not changed at all. She's not changed a single thing.
She's 24.
She's 24, and she's actually deluded by this narrative of she's a minority and things were so hard for her. When, give me a break. You were raised with a silver spoon in your mouth. Don't give me this. You are so privileged beyond most other people.
I think it's kind of like why the bride failed, because I think everyone at this point is tired of having rich people and live in mansions and drives Rolls Royces point at you, the guy who kind of works 9 to 5, works hard all day to spend his money on a movie. They're done being pointed at and told they're bad and told that they're oppressors by people who have so much money, so much privilege, and so much opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. And listen to what she says. And so this is this actual is a recut by Steph, My Nerdy Home, and what she adds into the videos is actually pretty gold. Like, listen to it.
When I was younger, my approach to beauty was a lot more shaped by what I was witnessing in big pieces of media. So it was who was on magazine covers, who was in the...
And so...
Steph, you think she was born in the 40s or something. It's like,
really? she goes on to say, and we'll listen to it, is that she couldn't see herself. Now, this whole idea that you need to see your race represented, I find so profoundly racist, that you feel like you can't connect to people on a human level or appreciate, or you feel excluded just because you're not seeing your race represented. And like, I grew up on Jackie Chan films and Asian martial art films, as well as anime and all this stuff, right? But I'll look at the Asian martial arts one where these aren't people that look like me. I still love the films, right? Because they were fun martial art action films. And I wasn't a racist. I don't have this idea where they have to look exactly like me. And you know what the counter would be? The woke, narrative is like, oh, but you got to see yourself in so much other media that it didn't bother you when you had films that
I don't think anyone ever thought of that. Oh, that's me. That's never thought about that. No, like, you got to see yourself in a lot of things. Like, then you say that, and they go, "Well, you didn't notice. It was a subconscious because everything was just about you, that you don't even notice how privileged you were." That's the main go-to for the counter
take on that, where it doesn't matter, black, white, red, orange, fat, thin, and you look at Batman and you go, "That is literally me."
Yeah, that's the meme for boys. It's kind of like everyone likes Goku, right? It doesn't matter what race, right? Everyone likes Goku, but it's a woman's thing. This whole I need to be represented on the screen is a woman's thing. They're the ones who are like, oh, she has to look exactly like me, act like me, be like me, or else I can't get into it. That's why every single main character from Twilight and everything has to essentially be a pair of pants. They have really no personality. It's like for the reader to project themselves onto. That's a woman's thing, not a man's thing.
I think it is, especially in the modern day, found more predominantly amongst women, but only if they're kind of conditioned to it, or especially the modern day with the woke narrative saying that you have to see yourself and stuff like that. Because I don't think it was nearly as prominent in the past, but there were the wish fulfillment kind of characters where, they did that. What was that Lego study where they had they watched how boys played with Lego and girls played with Lego, and boys became Batman, but Lego, they changed Batman or something like that. And so men and women do approach, entertainment media differently on a psychological level. This is taking to a whole nother level, I feel, where she's trying to, well, let's listen to what she says next.
Beauty commercials, who was in movies and was considered the most beautiful movie star at the time. It was definitely very Eurocentric.
Right. And so look at all the pictures being shown of it, that there are many, women of Latino kind of either ethnicity, background, or similarity, right? That were all around media with her growing up. And she's oblivious. She's like, oh, there was no one there.
She wouldn't have been paying attention to media up before she was 5 or 6 years old, really. So this is in the last 20 years. This is the most woke 20 years in human history.
A big problem with the leftists. Sorry, a big problem with the leftists is that they are completely engrossed in a perpetual sense of presentism. So to them, the past does not exist. Nothing before 5 years or 8 years ago exists to them. So they don't sit there and think to themselves, well, was this trail already blazed? Yes, it was. You are walking on trails that have already been blazed, and not only standing on the shoulders of people that blaze the trail for you, at times actively ignoring their contributions to the cause that you're trying to uphold. Because what is the one example when it comes to women in action movies and whatnot what do we immediately go to? Sarah Connor and Sigourney Weaver as great examples, and they've heard it enough that they just poo-poo it away because that's not the present. The present has to they have to have a constant dragon to slay, so they have to act like the dragon's has not been dead for decades.
What was that comment by, I forget her name. She was the actress. She played Mystique in the X-Men First Class series. She's the Hunger Games actress, where she made the comment there was no other female action star or something like that before.
Oh, yeah, Kristen Stewart. I was the first female action star to be in a major action franchise. No, you weren't.
Yeah, Jennifer Lawrence. It wasn't Kristen.
Jennifer Lawrence, yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
she's like, I get these mids all mixed up. Sorry.
Yeah.
They all want to be the first, so like they just claim it because they have no idea what any other movies ever exist.
Well,
So let's claim these firsts.
that's what's happening here, right? Zegler is trying to say it was so Eurocentric, and she's ignoring all. Now, this is already built on a false premise that there must be equal representation in all forms of media. Whereas, like, no, of course not. We shouldn't expect.
It's not Congress.
Exactly. We shouldn't expect equal representation of white people in Japanese media. And if you have a country that has like a predominant racial kind of representation, of course you're going to have people of that race more predominantly in the media, because that's just how the percentages would break down. And so the idea that saying it must be equal is like that's silly on the face of it. So there's the false premise. But then she's trying to say that because there wasn't, right, or that there was none, when there actually was in the last 10 years, right? 10 years ago, she was 14 years old, right? She's a kid, basically. She's only 24 right now. And there were heaps of Latinos in media and stuff like that. She's trying to say it's so Eurocentric, and maybe she's trying to say it was more Europeans than Latinos, but it's really sounding like there were barely any for her, right? And that's why all these pictures that have been edited in are funny.
As I was growing up, and being a young Latina, that was hard because not a lot of people looked the way that I did.
Oh, you poor baby. First world problems. There aren't people that look like me in the pictures I'm watching. First world friggin' problems.
I will grant she is nowhere near as hot as Salma Hayek was.
Well, that's like a legendary style of like that. That's like she's like an elf. Like she never went out. But I usually I can't help but zone out every time some lady starts a sentence with, "Well, as a Latina, as a woman of color." I guess I know whatever follows is not going to be worth hearing or remembering.
Yeah. I know, and she's like, it was really hard. What was hard about it? Like, give me a break. There are people starving in the world and dealing with war and struggling in poverty and stuff like that. It sounds like she had such a privileged upbringing, but because she could not see other Latinos in media when seems like there was still plenty, right? But in her mind, there just was barely any. It was really hard on her. Feel sorry for her.
You know what? I mean,
come off it.
There's always some possible exception. Maybe her parents were like just super racist and only watched stuff with white people in it.
Maybe, I don't know.
There might be another angle to this, in that she grew up in a more privileged household and feels very insecure about her racial identity to an extent that she feels she has to embrace it in order to and over-represent it and demand that representation to kind of snuff that guilt out that she didn't live as poor as a lot of what she feels her fan base has, right? Like, it's kind of how a lot of modern Black directors have been doing this thing the last few 5-6 years, where they have more opportunity than previous Black directors did. So they always make the same movie. They always make a movie about a cast of Black characters who go to some Midwestern town and have to fight off a bunch of overly oppressive white people over and over again.
That just won the Oscar.
Yeah. But it's a genre. It's been a genre since, I want to say, Get Out got really big. It's Jordan Peele's almost his entire filmography at this point.
Yeah. You know what's funny is Bill Maher just did a whole bit on the Oscars about how they pretty much excised the whites from winning everything in the last however long. It's really funny because I have not watched the Oscars since I called it the hat trick year, where Sidney Poitier was getting a Lifetime Achievement Oscar. And then they gave Denzel Washington the Oscar for what personally I thought was one of his weaker movies. And then they gave the lead actress to, oh my gosh, who played Storm? Halle Berry, who can't act her way out of a paper bag. Right? And I'm like, they just wanted to give an Oscar to a Black person all the way across the board. And I'm like, all right, it's obviously gotten so political. There's no point in watching. That's the last Oscars I ever watched. And then what's his face? Was going through like all of the Oscars like in the last 10 or 12 years. Bill Maher was doing this, and it's it's all no white person has won any. It's like brown, yellow, whatever.
I
Fat.
mean, even long before now, the Oscars were giving awards to movies that the critics enjoyed, not what people actually watched. You know, like somebody, I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, someone blew the lid off the whole voting process, and that majority of the people voting on these movies don't actually even watch them. It's basically Hollywood voting for what they feel should win, rather than anything on its own merit. And not for nothing, I will say I don't care so much about the Oscars because I've got a phrase that I live by. Awards are like hemorrhoids. Sooner or later, every asshole gets one. But I will say this. Michael B. Jordan is a good actor, and if anybody deserves to win one, I think he did. I've seen him in some pretty banger-up performances, so good on him.
Yeah, he did fine in that movie, too. It's just, that movie's...
Was it worth it?
All the bad guys were just, it was just like everybody white is a KKK member. It's like, okay.
I want to also highlight the comment that I had before. It's a very American centric POV. Models in Italy and Spain all look like her, but also more so because she's only like half Latino, isn't she? And so she's really latching onto this identity desperately because it's
that's the good one. That's the one she could free stuff with.
Exactly.
Yeah. And she grew up in a town where Adriana Lima was the hottest supermodel in the world.
Right.
I think it's like that half-like director for the American Society of American Negroes. That whole movie that was done by a half-like director who was like, you could tell he was ashamed that he was half white, and he was overcompensating for it by making something that was so pro-black it was borderline comedy at times.
So yeah, she's like just trying to present, I'm so Latino. I was like, well, what about your other heritage? You just want to ignore that. And she's also acting like she has the true experience of a minority when I'm not so sure. You seem like you come from a very privileged upbringing. But let's finish off.
Yeah, they only watch my movies.
Yeah, right.
Bushy eyebrows like I did. They didn't have dark eyes like I did. So
I was like, I mean, really? No one? Because there's a lot of other, actresses out there that.
As I've grown up,
she didn't think everyone was blonde back then. Like this,
as
far as I could tell, most people were like this. Most people were like kind of dark haired and.
The only time she saw Jessica Alba was in Fantastic Four.
I guess so.
She didn't watch Fantastic Four. She didn't watch movies.
Look,
read books.
Is this true? Her father is Danish and rich. Probably. I wouldn't surprise
me. She's woke enough where she has to come from a rich family.
All right, probably, yeah. Like that's almost like a correlation that is hard to avoid these days. But remember, it was so hard for her that she, even though there were other Latino, models, actresses, and everything, she mustn't have seen them. To her, it didn't exist, and they didn't have bushy eyebrows like her. I was like, gosh, first world problems, man. This is bothers me.
That is an unfortunate frame to pause on.
That was.
Someone should look it up and see if she went to private school.
So what did she say?
By the way, so on that note, Shad, where it's just like, they come from a rich family. So I had this idea for a story I've been looking into, which is The Year Without a Summer, where Mary, because The Bride inspired me to continue work on it, where it's like Mary Shelley, Byron, the guy that wrote Vampire, and Percy Shelley all there in that house, and that their villa is kind of basically it would be a comedy. But the thing is, I have learned because of research that Percy Shelley was very much kind of like this, except like a past version, like his past issues. We're very, very philosophical, very, very politically extreme, from a very, very rich family. Again, although he was pretty based because he was a pro religion because the Catholics were oppressed in England, so he was very pro Catholic.
Interesting. But there is a pattern. You start to see a pattern about
really been able to find it within myself, which is really nice.
Oh, so now she's like, but I found it in a strength that I didn't need the representatives.
It always comes down to I refuse to blah 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 blah. They like the sentence as a blank blank blah 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 blah, and they like the other sentence. But I refuse to blah 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 blah. Whatever follows. They like the idea of saying of like implying they've been asked, like someone begged them to stay quiet, stay silent. comply, and then they go, no, I refuse, so they could be a hero. But there's nobody there. No one's asking them to be silent, because if they did, they would cancel them, and she would get a lot more points.
Oh my
for taking
gosh, you
them
just
out.
reminded me of like Riri Williams in the comics.
Exactly.
You
Where
know,
it's like,
you know who else is like this?
Press me.
You know who else is just like her and just as much of a complaining diva is John Leguizamo. His complaints are almost the exact same. This guy's had a career since the early 90s complaining that he's never got Latinos don't get a fair shot at roles and all kinds of stuff. That guy has been in some great roles. And look, I'll give him his flowers. He's a good actor. I've enjoyed John Leguizamo in roles, but he acts like he's been trying for 30 years to get a role in Hollywood and no one's ever given him a shot. Like, buddy, look in the mirror.
Mm-hmm. They come off so entitled and disconnected when you have these privileged Hollywood celebrities saying, oh, this tiny thing that actually doesn't matter. It makes it so hard for them. And oftentimes it doesn't even exist, but they love to pose as the victim because, well, as the detective said, gives them free stuff. Like there's currency in being a victim, unfortunately. And I'm not saying we shouldn't have sympathy for real victims and people who do suffer disadvantages, but because there is a valid sympathy that is needed at times, well, people love to try and earn it by cheap means.
It's kind of like the strategy they have of, well, I'm a woman, so I never played D&D, but I would have if the evil nerds didn't keep me out of it.
Yeah,
like that. You just claim to be a fan of something, and you just get a voice because I'm a big fan of Star Trek, and they also have the perfect defense too. Because if they're a woman and they start questioning, okay, which favorite episode, everything, that's misogyny. I shouldn't have to answer these questions. So
they call it Star Trek.
Yeah, Star Trek. But if they had to actually answer, it'd be like a Sarah Palin answer, like all of them, or what's her name, Duzzy Headland answer, all of them. I love all of them, the entire thing, whatever it might be. So that's kind of what the answer would be. But they have the perfect defense, so they don't have to even do that, which is, how dare you question me? I shouldn't have to pass your test, you evil misogynists. How dare you? I should just be able to claim that I'm a fan and just get accolades and free voices and all that stuff.
But fans sniff it out. They sniff it out very quickly. And man, it's stuff like this that has destroyed the Hollywood celebrity, right? And you'd think, like, with all the backlash, and I'm not saying that backlash would have been pleasant at all to deal with that Zegler has had, but it's in direct response for the dumb things that she says and how entitled and just high on her own fart she comes across. And then after all that, she hasn't learned a thing. She's still exactly the same entitled self.
And
living in a world that doesn't exist, essentially.
Yeah.
I take a little bit of solace. I take a little bit of solace, Shad, in knowing that she has kind of self-imploded her Hollywood career. She is considered toxic. You're not going to see her in any leading roles, maybe ever again.
If Hollywood was smart, they wouldn't, because she's been box office poison.
Yeah.
So you have a point, and we haven't seen her cast in anything significant since Snow White.
I know Disney won't.
Yeah.
Snow White sucked. So I think I could take solace in the fact that behind the scenes, Hollywood is not one hive mind. So behind the scenes, there's probably some guys going, okay, she's woke and very politically, I guess, active or whatever. So okay, good for her, but I don't want her in my project.
There is that. If they just look at the bottom line, they would realize that, yeah, she's kind of box office poison. Let's avoid her. But we should never underestimate the stupidity of Hollywood and how woke they're willing to go. I honestly would see a studio casting her just to spite the chuds. That there is this woke casting director that says, oh, we would get so much attention online and every attention is good. It's free press. Let's cast Zegler and all the chuds will spurg out and it'll make our film a massive success and then it'll bomb. But I could absolutely see people in Hollywood being that dumb. So I guess don't count Zegler out at this point, people. Because remember, Hollywood people, the woke mind people, they agree with everything that she says. She's saying all the right things still, right? She's a minority, and so in their mind, she's ticking the boxes.
And I'm sure the dawn of the internet is both a helpful and hurtful thing for that, because I was able to find other people like me, but then I was also open.
So racist.
He says the dawn of the internet as if the internet hasn't existed her entire life.
I know. That's another funny. Oh,
I guess there was a point in her life where she didn't have the internet and she thought it didn't exist. It's like, obviously when I learned about it, that's when it started existing.
All I can think of is the internet dawned about the same time that Jennifer Lopez became one of the hottest actresses in the world and stayed one of the hottest actresses in demand in Hollywood for like a decade after that.
Every woman wanted to get a J-Lo butt.
Every man did too.
Yeah, J-Lo may have been directly responsible for the death of the housewife with the big butt as an undesirable thing. You know how we've had that cultural shift where big butts are in now. You know, so thank you, Sir Mix-a-Lot. But
I missed it myself, but I'll take your word for it. Okay. So it's not the type of internet discourse I've usually come across in my early days, but okay, I believe that's the case.
Because there was a shift where like all the women in shows were like, oh, does this make my butt look big? And then boom, yeah, there was a cultural shift towards big butts.
It was okay. Yeah. It's the song. It was the song that I certainly got exposed to the cultural, yes. I like big
butts and I cannot lie. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Other brothers can't deny.
And then of course we watch Shrek. We all watched Shrek.
That was just her physiology. So it became a desirable thing for how women are. They hate the fear of missing out part. They love to copy what's popular. What was popular with J-Lo? She had junk in the trunk. Oh God, I'm old.
But let's get back to what she says here, because what she says here, we need to break this down, because she says she found people like her. But what she's really saying, listen, because the whole context of the video is people that look like her, all right, that are her same race, right? The Latinos. She didn't see enough Latinos, right? And so
for that, because I was able to find other people like me, but then
when she says like me, she means look like me. That is so racist, man. It's like she's like, it's better to just spend time with people that look like you that are of the same race. It's like that racial segregation. It's like, what are you meaning when you say that? It's just the whole kind of like they're so desperate to not be racist that they become more racist than anyone else around.
It loops around.
Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah, horseshoe theory, man, it's real.
I was also opened up to a whole nother world of comparison. But
comparison, when you say dumb things, people are going to judge you for it. I'm aware of this. I've gone viral many times. I've never said anything dumb, ever. Not in my entire life.
I'd like to take contention with that.
It's clearly, I'm not being sarcastic at all.
I have a frontal lobe now. And that's been
really helpful. When did she get one?
I'm holding back. I'm holding back. That's like, look, some layups it's so obvious and it's so easy and it feels cheap to, take them. Oh wow. So she hasn't learned a thing, and I don't like attacking individuals, and she probably gets so much hate, but she does say legitimately some of the dumbest things and also some of the most vile things. Remember, she like I did in my Snow White review, I did kind of a breakdown of some of the things that she said in the past. She said some really vile things, right? She's such like this pathetic mean girl thing, and she also like fanned the flames and tried to encourage more dogpiling on Gina Carano when she was getting canceled, and she's done and like. Have you seen that photo where she's giving people the finger saying respect women every day? Stuff like that. It's so freaking, I can't.
I know. I don't think I will.
She is one of the most insufferable actresses I've ever seen. Oh my gosh. And she's been so bad. She's like the peak of the insufferable Hollywood female actors, that she was so bad that she made Brie Larson look better in my comparison.
Brie Larson kind of learned her lesson.
I know she has.
She's Joe Biden to Brie Larson's Jimmy Carter.
Something like that. I mean, Brie Larson has stopped with the political jabs and things like that, and just trying, and because she's been cast in the upcoming Mario movie, and she just recently did this thing that was just like, I love it. I'm grateful. I can't wait for the role, and people are responding really positive. Like, good, yes, Brie. That's how you do it. Appreciate the fans, don't attack them, stop acting like a victim, and and just.
Brie Larson's whole thing was, oh crap, all that woke stuff didn't work. Here's my tits.
No, she probably
exactly what happened.
She probably saw how many additions she was putting on to Jeremy Griggs's house, and it was like, not another shed for this guy.
Mike, you say that, but you're right. Oh, it was.
I know. I'm not kidding.
It was more.
She rolled right out on that show, freaking with
not only that,
lowest cut dress anyone has ever seen.
She made a YouTube channel. And one part she does like yoga in these really tight pants, and she is just shamelessly flashing her ass to the camera. And so the thing about Brie Larson, especially when you look at like some of the history of her trying to become an actress and celebrity stuff like that, she's been desperate for celebrity attention and to succeed, and she's basically, I almost see her as almost an empty vessel that's willing to try and do anything to be a successful celebrity. And that's why when she was latching onto the woke stuff, I don't think she actually believes it. I think she was just spouting the parrot talk because that's what she thought would bring her success.
She also might just have a really woke manager.
Could be that. And the fact she's abandoned it, seemingly, maybe we'll be wrong and proven wrong in the future, but it seems like she's abandoned it completely. And she's resorting to like appeals to the male gaze. Let's call it that she's willing to do things that I guess the feminist, narrative would take some issue with. Makes me feel like she's not really an activist. She was just posing as it.
It was the political flavor of the time that she kind of came out in. And
yeah.
But I will say, if you're going to try and be a thirst trap, kind of got to be not built like a plank of wood. I'm sorry to say. Sorry, not sorry.
Brie Larson?
Brie Larson, yeah.
She does. Look.
I'm not going to, I'm American.
No comment.
I revert back to my standard. Every single woman in the world who's not my wife is butt ugly. Done. Probably. No argument no further argument needed. But from a separate objective lens about Brie Larson, it depends on what she's wearing. Because I can actually see both sides of the argument in that one. So there we go. That was.
If Sydney Sweeney was saying the same stuff Brie Larson was saying, people would say she's ugly.
Possibly.
Totally.
I mean,
and if Brie Larson was saying the stuff that Sydney Sweeney said, people would say she's hot.
Yeah, people's attitudes actually affect how appealing they look.
Exactly.
Like, this is a real thing. So this was kind of floating around last week, but I thought it was worth talking about the build up to this Firefly reboot, not reboot. Have you guys been seeing like this floating around?
I've seen that. I've never seen Firefly though.
I
watched Cowboy Bebop.
I called
first.
it. What? I called it was going to be animated before they announced it.
It's animated?
It is
when they announced that Alan Tudyk, who is a great actor by the way,
that guy's awesome.
Was going to be part of it. Given where his character was at the end of the Serenity movie, I was like, well, it's obviously not going to be a season 2, which is what everyone asked. What every Firefly fan wants, has always wanted. And I think just the moment has passed for that to happen because, not only is everyone older.
Be on season 39.
I mean, the actors are all aged up. And so there are some complications about trying to do another live action thing. Turns out the rights to the movie. So Firefly, for those who don't know, lit dev, man.
I know the mythology around it.
You'd love it.
When it was out.
Firefly is brilliant. So Firefly was such a great series. It was canceled too early, but then they made a film which actually not only wraps up everything, it is brilliant. And that's called Serenity. Serenity is the film based after Firefly. and it is top tier sci-fi. It is so friggin' good. Okay. And so I'm actually kind of quite okay with where Firefly is at with the film. All in conclusion, it wraps up nearly all the main plot points that were being alluded to in the series. And that's really what they did. They had the series planned out, it got cancelled, and they had all these kind of loose threads in plot point that they were leading to. And then they just wrapped it all up in the movie. But because the movie is shorter, it's like a machine gun of plot being wrapped up really fast. But damn, it's good. It is so good as a result. And as like I said, it's at a kind of satisfying point to the level that I don't really need more, but I do love the characters. So if it was good, I wouldn't complain. But here's the thing:
will it be good?
Well, we don't know. It doesn't have Joss Whedon attached to this.
Yeah, that was a big part of its success. This is before Joss Whedon. Everyone got burned out on Joss Whedon's style. It was Buffy sci-fi, basically.
Yeah. Now, Joss Whedon is supposed to be a complete asshole, like a jerk on set and abused people and stuff like that. And I'm not trying to excuse any bad behavior, but he was able to make some really good media. I mean, like, I'm not, because sometimes there is people who like get offended by legitimate cruelty and meanness, and it seems like Joss might have actually done stuff. But then there are the people that just find someone expecting standards is cruel and mean, and then telling people off for not performing their job, right? Oh, there's such a meanie and a cruel and stuff like that. And there might be a lot of that wrapped up into it, because sometimes to be really successful, especially in a director role and stuff like that, you need to be blunt and direct and say, no, this is us, do a better job. Don't give me this crap, right? And that'll offend and upset people. But you have to sometimes tell the truth to demand the results.
Sometimes you got to be a boss. Sometimes you got to be the boss.
Sometimes you do, and that will upset people. So I don't know how much.
I can definitely see that happening with a lot of Joss Whedon. I think what happened is over time, the fact that he was in charge of all these beautiful Hollywood actresses having to pay attention to him, I think that kind of went to his head.
Oh, he's done some really scummy things. I'm not excusing it. And so like when Buffy was taking off, he basically just ditched his wife so he can have sex with other women, because his options it opened up so much being a bigger director in the Hollywood scene. And basically he had access to all these women. And so he just told his wife to jump ship, basically, so he could be a degenerate. And so that is scummy as hell. Yeah. Now, with me saying that, Firefly is brilliant. All right. The guy can actually make some really good shows, and any type of Firefly reboot without the actual creative mind behind it, I'm very dubious on its success. And then there are issues with the rights. Firefly, the TV show, I think, is the rights are held by a different media group than Serenity, the film. Now, one of the claims, I haven't had this confirmed, is that they can't really do anything based after Serenity, because I don't know, they don't have the right production company. The rights are held differently. And so if you build off of the events of Serenity, which is a different thing, that there are IP issues or something like that. It's confusing. I'm not so sure about it. But what seems to be the case with this animated, not reboot, but continuation, is that it's based between Firefly and Serenity. It's like a bridging season. And I don't know about that. I'm like, it's just kind of filler then between the story that we already have. I don't know. And I'm not like, as to it being animation, if it is based before Serenity, the actors are all too old to do a live action thing like that, unless they use
It's been, what, 400 years since the
show right. Everyone's way too old. So the only thing that would make sense.
Yeah. And more than that, there's another aspect to this, Shad, and that is the fact that and I didn't think this when they were announcing. I figured they already had production started on this stuff. This hasn't begun to be made yet, and they don't have a distributor.
Yeah, like this is kind of like a crowdfunder almost to try and get people interested in it. And
except they're not even asking fans for money. They could probably raise the money to crowdfund this kind of a thing.
Yes, if it's animated,
they were so inclined. But I mean, they said Disney's excited. Well, that doesn't sell anything, and they kind of want fans to go out there and make all the marketing noise. What this reminded me of was the release that Ryan Reynolds did of the Deadpool test footage that stoked up interest in a Deadpool film. Now that worked in his favor. and I wonder if that's what they're trying to do this time. But
maybe.
Well, it feels like they put the cart before the horse in this case.
This
because like we'll listen to it because Gary Nerdrotic says it's an animated series. I think that's a letdown because like Nathan Fillion did this whole kind of promotional thing where he was visiting all the actors one at a time, trying to get them on board, right? And they're all on board, and that felt like it was alluding to a continuation of the story with the live action actors, and the fact that it's just an animated thing. That's I think going to be a big letdown for most people. And as Gary says, no studio's picked it up yet. Like let's listen to the pitch kind of thing that was released on social media.
As of this moment, the word is out. We are going to try to bring back Firefly. And this time, we're going to animate it. Guys, bringing back Firefly.
Okay, so again, animated, I'm not as on board with, but if it's based before Serenity, animated is kind of the only way you can go with it because everyone's too old now. So at least you could depict the character.
There is another way they could go, but it would cause a lot of controversy.
There is. You're absolutely right there, Mike. I'm not sure AI is there yet to do a full series, but it's getting close.
Oh, it doesn't even matter. They could play all their roles and just have AI age them back to the show age.
Well, there's that, or like if they make animated, AI will be able to actually re-render it into live action in a couple of years. We're already seeing, tests done.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: with AI, you wouldn't need sets. You could have them playing their roles in not even it wouldn't even have to be green screen. You just if they need a starship seat there, you just put a chair, and then just freaking AI could just pick out all the people, no green screen needed, and put them in the setting you want them in. I mean, dude, you could make this entire series for freaking $50.
AI is going to lower the cost of so many things, but it's too radioactive at this point. But that's like it's going to change. More and more people are just getting used to it, accustomed to it. We're going to see it more implemented in small aspects in media more and more. But let's listen to the.
What thing? I do know about Nathan Fillion, but I did not see him in Firefly. The first time I've ever seen him is in as Captain Hammer in Dr. Horrible's sing along or whatever.
I haven't seen that. No.
Can you even stream Firefly anywhere?
I think
it came out in the 90s.
I think it's on Disney Plus now. Disney would have the right. Like we saw a comment where it was, Nathan Cassidy, our wonderful mod, says he thinks that a movie is under Universal Studios while the show is under Fox, now Disney. And so it probably is on Disney Plus then, if that's the case.
Yeah, so that's what I'm wondering. Because like I said, I only ever saw it because Lit Dev's never seen it. Because I was wondering if it ever streamed because I just saw it live on TV and I wouldn't even know where to go find it.
Well, the live TV release, the episodes were released out of order. Like so many things happened in its release that really
you gotta look up what the correct order to watch the episodes in, because if you watch them in the air order, it's the story is confused as hell.
Mm-hmm.
It's on Disney Plus, by the way.
Yeah, I thought so.
Crazy.
Not crazy.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
Not crazy.
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 It's crazy, but it just might work.
I love tuning. It's great, but they've all, the years have progressed.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
Like you can,
Not crazy.
and it's like, I'm not sure she would be able to reprise her role as easily. Like,
Crazy.
that guy didn't look much different though. He hasn't aged much at all.
And the men might be able to do it.
Yeah, the men might be able to do it.
Crazy.
Well, because the men aren't high on Ozempic.
Maybe.
It looks exactly the same. Like
Yeah.
Same guy.
Now, to do this, we would need Joss's blessing. I got it.
The rights from 20th Century Fox
/ Disney.
They got excited. They said yes. The showrunner. I got 2.
Wasn't there a real concern about the writer on this? I think there is
Our Butters, Agent Carter, Dollhouse, Mark Guggenheim, Arrow, Flash. They're married.
Oh, they're gonna get
met.
the guy that ruined the Arrowverse.
Now those are the showrunners, I think.
They met through Firefly.
A script.
We got it.
An animation house.
Academy.
A script.
That written by Tara Bates and Mark Guggenheim. There is some concern I've heard about the writer of this. Well, let me see if I can find it, because I'm pretty sure I bookmarked one of the people saying
Guggenheim.
Dollhouse was a weird show. I've actually seen some of Dollhouse. That was a weird show. Alan Tudyk was in that one too.
Dang it! I don't think I bookmarked it. Maybe, but all right. There are some big red flags I've heard people talk about the writer of that show. But I can't confirm because it doesn't look like I've kept the bookmark. Dang it! Well, but we'll quickly finish this off then.
Out. Tara Butters, Agent Crime. Met.
Script.
Got it.
An animation house.
Academy and Emmy award-winning Shadow Machine. The last piece we need,
which I think is one of the most crucial pieces,
is a home.
A home.
A home.
A home?
A distributor. So it's like, okay.
A home.
A home.
A home.
A home!
And for that, we need you. Like this post. Comment.
So it's just trying to show that, show as much interest as possible, and a studio might pick it up. So it's like, it's not there yet. It seems like, I don't know, jumping the gun a bit in my mind.
Big red flag. This guy was one of the writers of the Green Lantern movie. The Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern.
Yeah. Man, writers just fail upwards in Hollywood. It's like they're never held accountable for the crap that they spit out. And is it because they're like, the studio tells them what to write and they just follow suit? And then even if it's bad, they don't really get the cop it because it was really the studio trying to force it. Like, did you hear the story about Superman Lives? And it's the one that what's the fake nerd crying guy that attacked clownfish? What's his name?
Kevin Smith.
You're to narrow it down.
Yeah. John got it. Kevin Smith. He's shared the account of what the studio was asking him to write for that Superman movie, and it is the most retarded crap you'd ever hear, where they want some giant spider in and all this bull crap, and it's like, really?
They wanted Superman to not have his powers too. He didn't want Superman to fly. So a bunch of other changes that were basically completely counter to the character. And I think funniest thing about it is that producer, after that movie fell through, he went on to help make Wild Wild West. And what showed up in that movie? A giant spider.
Yeah, spider. Look at that.
Not that a giant spider isn't cool. You know, I kind of feel him on that one. It would have been a disaster, man. That movie would have been so interesting to see, though. And I kind of hate that, Nicolas Cage never got the chance to play Superman the way he wanted to. A Nicolas Cage Superman would have been something else.
But the point I guess is making is that sometimes these horrible scripts are the fault of the higher ups in the studios just demanding retarded nonsense. But even then, I think that some must fall back on the writers, and they spit out these stupid things. So there are red flags with the writer of this new Firefly reboot. There's concerns like animated, is it going to be, and it's not picked up by a studio. So it's in kind of limbo. Maybe it could be good. I'm not thrilled about it, and I'm pretty happy with where Firefly and Serenity are at by themselves. Like I said, going into it. So maybe I'll check it out. But I'm not thrilled, and I don't really care too much. That's my take. That's my ending take on that. All right, gentlemen, how excited are you for Supergirl? Yeah, like big DC movie coming out. Yeah.
I'm kind of interested to see what they do with it. I'm like, okay, well, this is a different direction on Supergirl, and I guess I'm going to see what they do with it, but. Seeing that it was based off a story written by Tom King, I don't really have high hopes.
No, I have no hopes for this. Like, there are some things that I think could have been interesting in their approach. because one of the like annoyances with the Supergirl TV show that CW made, and this is before it went crazy, woke off the rails garbage, right? It started off kind of, you know, in a more genuine approach, even though there was some crap even in the beginning. But basically, what was really frustrating about it is that it was a female Clark Kent. It was just like, let's take the entire concept of Superman and turn him into a woman. And that was it. And it's like, no. Supergirl has a distinct difference to Superman. And it's that she didn't grow up on Earth. She should be a fish out of water trying to adapt to this. But they threw that out the window and they had Supergirl basically be raised on Earth as well, fully integrated into society. And they just made it a Clark Kent, female Clark Kent. It was dumb and annoying, and it was like a replacement show, where this approach seems to be actually understanding that, no, Supergirl should be a fish out of water. She is an alien raised on an alien planet, doesn't understand the society, and she's having trouble integrating in Earth. That's the approach that you should do with Supergirl. The film seems to be doing that, but in the worst ways possible, basically, where she seems like she has no respect for Superman. I was not impressed by the trailer at all. It looks like she's a mess. And then there are comments like this that are coming out. So this is a comment by Millie Alcock on the new Supergirl film, sorry. I think young girls should walk away from the film knowing that it's okay to be a bit bad and messy. Really? Is that the actress's summary of the film? Because that is just red flags across the board. For me as a father, especially.
I think it is really good. The Billie Eilish version of Supergirl. Like it's okay to be filthy, lazy, grotesque.
she's a drunk in the movie. She literally goes to another planet with a red sun, so she loses her superpowers so she can get drunk. Right? Like, this is not an aspiring character that you might want to look up to. And it seems like it's being confirmed by the actress now. That is, it's okay to be a bit bad. It's like, that shouldn't be the tagline we have for heroes.
Yeah, it should be like the main takeaway. Should be like, you know, you can be a good person and be loyal. Do something that's like this. By the way, the K-pop Demon Hunters made big news recently because it was one of the few movies outside of like the big gigantic companies to have won an award for an animated film. And that movie is good for girls because that one is it not only does it appeal to them because it has these colors and cool songs and
fashion and
good fashion,
relationship stuff, and
friendship, boys, really handsome boys in there.
Insecurities baked in with their like it's very female coded K-pop Demon Hunters in a positive way, where they work to overcome their insecurities than rather embrace them and call everyone a bigot for not validating them, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah, an example of representation done right.
Yeah, because they're all just Korean and nobody really cares. They're all just the same person. There's no need to dump in some minority in there and say, hello, I'm here to exist in the show. But the demons in there are bad guys. Like her falling in love with the demon is a bad guy. They do the whole thing about, oh, he's misunderstood. No, he's not. Everyone who's a demon is a bad guy. She learns that not everyone is deserving of empathy. Like, no, he probably shouldn't really care. Like, oh, you're just my type. Oh well, stab him because they're bad guys. They're bad guys.
Evil demon. Yeah, don't care if you're good looking. You're wanting to kill. You're done. You're a demon.
Yeah, I was like, that was pretty base. Like, oh, you're just my type. Anyway, time to stab you. It's the same thing you get. I say in the Labyrinth is like, you know, it's the same thing men get every single time they have a journey. Is that they will always encounter the succubus, the temptation, right? So the thing is, okay, they say they encounter their own version, which is in K-pop Demon Hunters. It's this demon pop band. In Labyrinth, it's this Goblin King who's, you know, David Bowie and his little friend, and is a king. He has influence, power, magic. Basically, you can give her the world. And the whole message is that you're supposed to reject this. You're supposed to reject the demon boy band. And the only reason why the one she falls in love with is it's okay to sort of kind of feel a connection to him is because, you know, he feels a connection back. But again, she has to reject him, and she turns away essentially at the end, and where he then sacrifices himself for her because he has to pay for his crimes. He kind of gets a death by redemption or redemption by death sort of scenario. But the end, you go, anyone who watches that, not just girls, but anyone who watches that will go away with the message of friendship, togetherness, because that's how they beat the demons. You know, they get everyone together. It's not just the demon hunters themselves, it's the audience. You know, they respect the fans, they love the fans. Literally, they really do love the fans, not just an act. So when they kind of call upon the fans to help them, like a girl power version of the Spirit Bomb from Goku DBZ, it defeats the bad guy. It makes the golden line. They kick out all the illegal aliens, legal demons, and they stop them from hopping that border to steal all of our jobs. It was great. And that's but you could walk away with all of these great messages, and it's not. Oh, what did you learn from Cable Demon Hunters? Oh, it's okay to be messy and bad. Like, that's not really something.
Exactly. It's interesting, the contrast when you look at media that has positive messages, and then when you have something like this, where they're literally saying it's okay to be a bit bad, and that's like very negative on so many levels, because it's basically trying to say and reinforce all the because women stereotypically deal with a lot of insecurities and stuff like that, and they're trying to say just accept your insecurities. It's okay to like be a bit bad, be a bit messy, be a bit insecure, and not try and overcome and improve yourself. And if people don't accept you for the crappy version of who you are, they're the bigots, not you for not trying to improve yourself.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here and say, first of all, I've never been a big fan of Supergirl as a character, so that's why I have no dog in the fight. But the way they're going towards this, it seems to me, is very much in line with what happened to her as a character, because she would be super PTSD girl. Right. Mm-hmm. You don't watch your entire civilization and planet and every person you've ever loved get nuked and then just be a happy-go-lucky, I'm going to be a Supergirl, I'm going to go babysit Superman on another planet. Right?
That's why I want to give it a chance.
That's not realistic.
Well, it's going to be.
And hold on, let me finish my point. Hold on, because her coming in, being a mess, right? Being a bit bad, dealing with all of this crap, that gives her the space to grow into a heroic character by the end of the film.
If that's what I'm hoping for. Because what is she saying here? That the girls should walk away from the film knowing.
I know. I just think you're reading too much.
I don't know. Maybe I'd love to be wrong.
Possibly reading too much into it.
I'd love to be wrong.
You could be right.
I would love to have a good Supergirl film. But the reason why this is such a red flag for me is him saying they will walk away with this message, which is implying that Supergirl is not going to deal with the trauma and overcome them and embrace the light kind of, classic heroic storytelling, where it's trying to say, no, you should actually walk away being validated in the
right, but this is standard freaking movie structure, right? The character has to come out at the end different than they came in.
You would think
she's not going to come out messy.
Really?
Right?
Are you sure about that?
I'm not sure. This is me playing devil's advocate, because if I was playing this, I would very much like to write a story in that vein. If I was doing Supergirl,
yeah, that could be an interesting
you're dealing with all that, and she's just messed up, and then she's got to find some way, some theme that pulls her out of that kind of despair and lets her deal with her reality. And then at the end of the day, it's okay to come away and say, look, we all deal with crap. We all deal with messes, and it's okay to deal with those messes. It's okay to be messy and deal with that. But at the end of the day, you have to find that better human inside you, whatever.
I hope you're right. I hope that's the approach that they're doing.
Because if they do, that'll be a great movie.
Because this, to me, most of the stuff that I'm seeing in promotion of the film coming out of it is giving me the opposite impression. And so I'm seeing lots of red flags with it. It's looking like it might just bomb, because Superman didn't do that well, and Supergirl is a lesser character. And when we're not getting hints or indications or promotional material that is getting you more on board, it's kind of making it worse. Stuff like comments like this, where it's like, this looks like a red flag. I don't want my heroes to embrace being a bit bad and messy. I want them to embrace being better than who they are starting on. And I'm not saying there isn't room in the story where they might explore that, like you're saying, but I'm not getting indications that that's going to be the case.
Yeah, so but we won't know until we know.
Yeah, exactly. Let's hope I'm wrong.
I never read the Tom King comic, so I don't know how they played that.
They're not good from what I've heard. And
Yeah,
say
Shad,
this.
I like.
as
If I were
a
to take a
dad,
guess, yeah, like she'll be like it'll end with her embracing her drunkenness and, and all that stuff, as it's actually a feature.
right.
Here's-
Well, that,
here's
that
what-
would be a character change. We've already established in the first Superman movie that is where she is in her life now. So there's
Yeah,
got
but
to be a
it's
change in her
Hollywood.
before the end of the movie.
No, there doesn't have to be. It's current day Hollywood. So much of current day Hollywood
fair enough.
is validating especially female characters, validating who they are, because everyone else that's judging them for who they are, they're the bigots, and they were perfect all along. Think of Captain Marvel, where it was just the inhibitor and everything else keeping down. And like so many female characters in modern media do not go through growth and arcs. It's all about validating how incredible they are to begin with. Ray Skywalker.
Right. But she's not starting as great. She's starting as a mess.
How dare you say that, Mike? Really? Because the message seems to be being bad and messy is good. That seems to be what
The starting was the thing is that the trajectory they can go with to get that out of the way is that she kind of feels bad about being this way, and at the end she'll feel good about being this way.
Which just ends up validating her irresponsibilities. We already had this with Harley Quinn. That was Harley Quinn's whole thing.
That's how I know.
Yeah. Not to mention, we've already seen this in the form of what was that Will Smith movie? Not Legend. Hancock. They did that in Hancock. And if it hadn't been for that terrible third act in that movie, it might have been a bit generational, but like it felt more like the movie was validating more of his bad habits than it was him trying to fix them. I did not like that movie.
You mean when
I
you
want to
put
be
the
able to take
logo
my
on the
13-year-old daughter to this film and have her
yeah.
walk away with another hero like she does with the K-pop Demon Hunters film. We like that. We watched it together. And Freerin, that's a dad-daughter thing.
So good. I'm watching Freerin with my season 2 is out. She's already watched season 1, but we are rewatching season 1 to watch season 2 together. I'm watching that with my daughter. Well, like, dads, we love finding good female characters that our daughters would love and enjoy. And if this, this is such I want this movie to be good because I would love to take my daughter to it. But if it's going to be this messy, validating, bad behavior bullcrap that we see so often in Hollywood, this film could be cast into the sun for all I care. It's dead to me. But we will see when it comes out. I'm going to give it a chance.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'll even defend the season 1 of the Supergirl show before it went to CW and completely fell apart. Because she watched that when she was 6 years old with me. She bought a Supergirl doll. She was flying her around the room with a towel wrapped around her neck as a cape. It was cute, and I wish that we could get that from this. But it just kind of feels like they're just going to validate her irresponsibilities in a positive way.
It's so nice that my kids are growing up. Pretty much, it's like when we were growing up, me and my daughter used to watch Smallville. And she was just in love with Superman. It was so funny. But Smallville had it was great. It was fun, wholesome family stuff. And it wasn't that long ago. My daughter is the same age as that crazy girl we were talking about earlier.
Zegler.
Yeah.
I met John Schneider. He lives down here with me in my neck of the woods. Nice guy.
Yeah, bass too.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
all right. Before we move on, dude, go to I just sent you the first one of these. Go through. I want to go through these just for fun. I'm not even doing these for anything other than just fun. But I just think
where did you send them to me through?
Twitter.
Twitter. Okay.
It's in the messages.
X Twitter. Sorry.
Yeah.
But regards to Supergirl, that's we will have to wait.
We shall see.
We shall see. Now, in regards to what Mike is wanting to show off,
that's where I'm at. I'm like, I'll wait and see.
One last thing about Supergirl. Sorry, one last thing about Supergirl. I am kind of interested to see Jason Momoa as Lobo because
hell yeah,
casting.
Well, yeah, he was born to play this role. Yeah, he was born to play Lobo. Absolutely.
I thought he was Aquaman. Hell, but. And he digs the roles, and he has fun doing them, and he doesn't take himself too seriously, and he doesn't hate his fans. So, he's a little bit up there.
He's a good guy, man.
Seems like it.
So, Mike, what you're wanting to show this off, eh?
Yeah, it's just I'm taking the scenes that are just Dunk and Egg in the books, and I Calvin and Hobbes them and it works so perfectly, like moment to moment. It's just
Yeah.
Oh my God. That does work.
The
right.
expressions on egg are great. That's good. That's good. Man, I love Duncan Egg. I could just watch a series of their interactions.
Yeah. Click through.
Lots of fun. All right. Let's jump on to
Those are all on Twitter if you want to follow me, Mike S. Miller Art.
Mike S.
I just
Miller.
Put up the 8th and 9th ones. So
Right here, Mike S. Miller. Gentlemen, One Piece season 2, more specifically. I have thoughts. I'm interested to hear your thoughts, but there is a discussion raging, or not raging, honestly. It's actually a small minority of people, because like overall, season 2 of One Piece is being very positively received on both sides. Okay,
I heard they kept the whole thing intact with Zoro, that he still kills minorities.
How could someone find me that? I actually didn't bookmark it. That one is just, well, it's funny.
I've only watched the first 2 episodes so far. But one thing that was just tripping me out is Nami has a freaking Adam's apple, and I was like, is she trans too? And I looked it up, and she's not. But she just has a weird thing where it's like rarely a woman will have an Adam's apple. So
one thing that's kind of been bothering me with Nami, her hair isn't as bob-like as the character. It's more frizzy and thin. And look, small things, but that is bothering me more than the race swaps, right? Just because, like, so one of the accusations of One Piece, all the way from season 1 and now season 2, it's continued, is that it is woke because of the race swaps. Now, I have been 100% consistent on my position on race swaps, and with my consistent position, right, it falls into the framework completely, where sometimes race swaps are not woke. And I've held that position for ages. And I always reference Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin in Daredevil. Okay. Sometimes it can work. All right. Sometimes it can. And one of the times in which it is less of an issue for me is when the creator of the series actually chooses to do it or signs off on it and is okay with it. And the creator of One Piece, from what I've heard, he is like instant veto on anything in the production that he can say, no, don't do it. Right. And so to my understanding, every single race swap he has actually been okay with. And a lot of it is going into like some of the limitations that people are trying to claim in terms of doing manga and stuff, because it's hard to show certain ethnicity in the basic simplistic style of some of these, drawings, because One Piece is a very cartoony style, and that a lot of the characters that are supposedly race swapped, that's actually accurate to the ethnicity that these characters are supposed to have. So I'm not sure if that is cope or if it's just an excuse or if it's valid. Okay. I don't really care too much, because one of the things for me is that the bigger determining guideline for me, if something is woke, is if it's the actual narrative of the story is promoting something that I find subversive or actually part of the woke narrative. And in regards to the show, I'm not seeing any of that so far. In actual fact, I see the opposite, especially Mike, did you see season 1?
Yeah.
So there is a scene that I'm shocked that they kept in. Okay, from in season 1, and it's the Zorro flashback where he has his childhood friend, and the girl is beating him in their training sessions, and he gets all annoyed with it. And this girl comes up and says, "Yeah, girls can beat boys, but no woman can ever beat a man." And she's basically acknowledging a biological reality that boys, they grow stronger and larger as men and have a massive biological advantage against women in any physical contest. And they're actually acknowledging that in the show. I was watching that with Nerdrotic in UK. And when that line dropped, we were just like, what? Like, we couldn't believe what we were
They put that in there?
They put that in there, man. We were just like,
what's it? And then she dies. And then she like kill herself or something because she'll never be able to beat him.
I don't think she killed herself, but she dies. But the thing is, though, Zorro tries to reject it and say, no, I believe in you. And so there is also this kind of balanced narrative where there are exceptions to the rule that sometimes women can get really, really good in certain areas, especially, by the way, in terms of combat and sword fighting. Swords are a force multiplier. And so even though it's a lesser majority, trust me, this is something I study, okay? I have a whole channel dedicated to swordsmanship and swords, right?
You do?
I do, shocking. If you haven't heard of Shadiversity, right? And HEMA tournaments, which is historical European martial arts, they're often mixed gender, okay? And yes, most of the people who win the tournaments are men, but there's the occasional woman who wins the tournaments, all right? And there are a lower, amount, a percentage of women who win these mixed gender tournaments, but there are the occasion when women do, because swordsmanship is a force multiplication art where strength it's important, but it isn't as important as unarmed combat. And if you're fast enough and you're skilled enough, the sword can actually balance the field a lot. And that's exactly what's happening in the One Piece thing, where they're talking about swordsmanship, and Zoro's like, no, you can do it. And then she passes on, and he has now a vow to become the greatest swordsman ever in kind of honor to her. And so there are some shockingly based stuff in One Piece. And even if you might be able to latch onto a couple of counter narratives, to me, if it's actually balanced, I don't see it pushing overt propaganda to one side. It's like, okay, just give us a good show. And from season 2, in terms of the narrative and story, I've not seen any overt woke propaganda in it. But now, having said that, I understand completely if people don't like the show, by the way. If you are checked out based on the race swaps and you are annoyed with it because Hollywood does it so much, perfectly valid. You are entitled to that, and you don't need to watch it. Okay? All power to you.
I'm tired of seeing characters of any race in any show.
Are you there? just make them just bland, homogenous, like where you can't even see any. Like
I just want to see anime or something.
just anime where you can't even, because anime
they're just the anime race in that show.
It's just most of it is just anime race, unless they go really, because when anime really tries to like do a race, they sometimes go to the extreme. Like what's the black character in Dragon Ball Z that's on the lookout, Mr.
Mr. Popo, yeah, Mr. Popo.
Picking order.
Like, they can really push it in an extreme when they want to.
Yeah, Mr. Popo's girlfriend Jinx is in Pokemon. She works in Pokemon. She's an actress in Pokemon.
Really?
I don't think Mr. Popo was supposed to be black. No, I think he was supposed to be like some kind of djinn or genie type character. I don't think he was.
They wanted him to look alien and weird, so they made him black.
Yeah.
So one thing that kind of actually, this is an odd, I guess, interpretation. It's based on my subjective kind of look at the One Piece world. One of the other things that makes the race swaps far less jarring for me, and again, is this cope? Don't know, might be, right? But One Piece is such a wacky world with such weird costumes where it's just a kaleidoscope of random visual spirals and splurge, like just everywhere, random colors, random costumes, random everything, that the multiple, like adding more diversity in the actual kind of racial makeup of the people in the world fits the One Piece universe perfectly. It's like, because everything is so weird and diverse already, especially those costumes. The costumes throw me, because some are like full-blown modern outfits and clothing, right? And then some is like old-timey piratey stuff. And it doesn't care. That's what One Piece is. Like, the world is wacky on purpose. And it's almost like
I heard Yellow Flash talking about that. It's all diverse like that because apparently something about the mythos is like there was a higher tech civilization that was somehow or another taken down or beaten or whatever and destroyed, and so somehow or another the higher tech stuff stayed around, but it's not really in use. So it's like you get this mishmash of old tech, high tech.
See, I love that background. I was completely oblivious to it, but that would actually explain a lot, because like at one point they go to a radio station that has almost like modern stuff, but then their communication device is based off this giant snail thing. And so it's all wacky. Now, as a result, it's too weird and wacky and dumb and stupid for some people, and they just can't get into it. And that's fine. I'm like, yeah, this is not meant to appeal to everyone. And if this is too weird and dumb for you, I understand completely. Okay. Like, did you see that clip people were throwing around of Luffy singing and dancing?
Yeah,
that's definitely One Piece. That's the nature of One Piece. Yeah.
That is 100% One Piece. And it is cringe. And it is hard, and it translates very difficultly into live action. And so I get that type of thing can check a lot of people out. But I kind of love that they're embracing it in the live action. I genuinely.
It's planned cringe.
It is. Like they have embraced the silliness, and that feels like a bit of respect to the source material, because so often in live action adaptations they don't embrace it, and they want to change it and make it either edgy or dark or modern or some bull crap, right? And that just pisses me off.
To me, that kind of thing is the kind of thing that works better in a manga or an anime setting. I don't feel like a lot of anime, and One Piece especially, that is so visually dynamic, works all that well in One Piece. Even though there's some stuff I've seen that they're trying to get it almost 1-1 at times. There's just some stuff that visually works better in much more of a manga or an anime setting than anything. And I think the live action kind of works against One Piece a little bit in that particular manner. Don't get me wrong. I know a lot of people like it, but I also feel like there's this aspect of One Piece because it's so long running and people get really, really invested into it because it's so long running that if I myself, because I haven't read One Piece or watched any of it, because it's so long running, like I feel like I would probably get invested at first, and at some point I would just mentally drop off. Anything that's really long form like that, I kind of have that problem with. I loved Walking Dead until I suddenly didn't. I liked Critical Role until I suddenly didn't. And I feel like I'd have that problem if I tried to get into One Piece. I would like One Piece for a while, and then at some point I would just kind of run out of enthusiastic steam for it.
That was kind of my experience, because I tried to watch the anime and it just kind of dragged on too much. There's so much filler episodes, and I found it tedious, and I couldn't just stick to it as a result. But because the live action condenses so much, it's actually a much better viewing experience for me, where they latch onto the best story elements, and we kind of get the best version, that of the story presented in live action format. And I was never a fan of the One Piece art style. I found it too cartoony and goofy, where I love like the anime serious, where they just depict the mecha really detailed and just the classic anime style I find very appealing, where One Piece pushes it into a goofy kind of extremity that I don't find appealing. And if you do, all power to you. But as a result, the actual live action is a much better viewing experience for me than the animation by far. And not only that, it makes me appreciate the source material so much more, because I couldn't appreciate the animation because it was just, it dragged on too much. Whereas now it's condensed and presented as like, oh, I can see the merit of that source material. If this is what it had in the key, points of plot, all right, I can see why it's so popular, and I'm enjoying what I'm watching. As to my overall views of season 2, I actually enjoyed it quite a lot. By the way, episode 3, Mike, when did I get episode 3? There is a sword fight in episode 3, which is genuinely impressive. I think I need to do a dedicated review analysis on Shadiversity, because it's one of the longer running fight scenes, we've seen in media. The choreography is it's not perfect, but it's really entertaining and dynamic. And it's just like, okay, dang. All right. The emotional payoff of season 2, I didn't find as powerful as season 1. Season 1, it was wrapped up in the relationships of the characters really strongly, especially with Nami, and the relationship between Nami and there is a really positive aspect of sacrificing yourself for the benefit of others that you've discovered about Nami, which is really positive, and it builds her character a lot. And she's in trouble, and then Luffy comes to the rescue. And not only that, the show had the balls to have a female character ask a male character for help. It shouldn't be a big thing,
but it is in Hollywood.
It is in Hollywood. And she is at her very end. She has no one else to turn to, and Luffy is there to save her. and it's essentially a damsel in distress scenario. And the show embraces that in the finale of season 1. And so the finale of season 1 is really, really strong. Season 2 wasn't as strong, but still good. And so I enjoyed season 2. One of the standout characters for me, actually, was Sanji. Sanji, for me, doesn't get enough credit, especially the actor that plays him. Sanji is like, to me, Sanji, because I've watched some of the anime, Sanji is better in the live action than in the anime. He's got this kind of cool, suave, capable kind of, atmosphere around him. And is also genuine, sincere, and just a good-hearted guy. And the rivalry he has with Zoro. Sanji was actually really enjoyable in this season for me. And so, sorry, it sounded like someone was going to say something.
Just personal note. That's my grandfather's name.
Oh, is it? How do you know? Wow, see, this is the thing. People saying Sanji's character is ruined. He doesn't go goofy for women. To me, that's one of those things that wouldn't have translated nearly as well in the live action. Because I went back to the animation after watching season 2 to rewatch some of the key scenes to see how well they translated and adapted it. And one of the scenes I watched was when they arrive in the city, and I think this is the first episode, right? They're at the city and they're going to go buy all the things that they need. And in the animation, Sanji is like trying to grope, it's very anime thing, Nami's breasts, and is also getting love heart eyes with random women. And he came off more desperate and pathetic as a character, which might be part of his character, but to me that is a less likable character than the way that they've done it in the live action. I really like Sanji. He likes women, and he has really smooth lines that he slips in that makes him, instead of being a desperate weirdo, he's actually kind of a smooth player and is cool and collected. And I like that. I think that's actually a positive and improvement on the character. In all honesty, I know people who love the anime might shoot me for that. But I think a character trying to grope women's breasts constantly might not translate as well into live.
But it's an age-old tradition, Shad. It goes way back.
I know, it goes way back with anime, doesn't it? Right? Overall, One Piece is still being true to the anime in a lot of ways, and still quite an enjoyable series. They've done some really impressive stuff. The race swaps actually don't throw me. I think it actually fits in the world quite well. Now, I'm not saying they can't go too far, right? I have a line, and it's when they, like, for instance, one of the most ridiculous race swaps we've seen in modern times is Ariel. Race swapping Ariel from The Little Mermaid, right? Is just nonsense. She was a pale redhead, where those visual components of her, depiction were very important to identifying the character. And race swapping that completely butchered it. Same with Snape. Snape is one of the dumbest race swaps you can ever imagine, right? It seems like the race swaps that they're choosing with One Piece are fitting the characters that they're choosing to race swap, except the princess. I will admit, the princess, I don't see that one. She's a less prominent character, and it's on the line, but it doesn't go over it for me, where I think there might be some other ones that very well could. Now, in terms of One Piece, because another discussion, if One Piece is woke or not, is how it deals with trans characters. Like, have you heard about this kind of discussion argument?
I know they made Cody trans for some reason. Kobe.
Well, no, Kobe, the character, is not trans.
Yeah,
the actress is. Yeah. So that's kind of.
And it looks like your testosterone's been kicking in this season.
Yeah, and like, I think that's an awful choice. I do not see a man or a boy when I look at Kobe. I see a woman trying to pretend to be a boy. It's so blatantly obvious that it breaks my immersion. That is like a really bad choice of casting for the character. But the character in universe is not trans. But now, I don't know when this happens, but One Piece is kind of notorious for a couple of things, right? And it's how One Piece has depicted trans characters in the cartoon and anime. And I'm like, okay, well, like, this is the ultimate test. If One Piece is woke or not, this is it. When we come to this, I'm not sure how far this is in the story, and so maybe we'll never get to it. But if they do,
it'll be great.
This is the ultimate test.
They go to the trans island and like
it's like these really ugly trans characters in One Piece, right?
They're not just drag queens, isn't it?
Like what they think they look like versus here's what they really look like.
right.
Yeah, that's right. They're more like drag queens than actual
Seems like
trans
that, but
characters.
they're certainly not trying to glamorize it or promote.
See, there's the thing. When this was written, there were no transsexuals. It's all transvestites.
Right? I look
And now
at
that's
that.
like
Look
not
at
a
these,
nice thing to
look
say.
at these men freaking out trying to escape from these guys. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm really interested to see how true to the source material One Piece will be in the future if we ever come to these arcs in the live action. All right. And if they try to soften this, or especially in the extreme where because the whole point, it seems like, from these scenes, these characters are meant to appear as repulsive and ugly, and look at the reaction of the people around it, right? And if they think that is problematic and they pull back from it, that is like, all right, you're going woke, right? But we will see, because at the moment, it doesn't seem like they've abandoned.
How far in the future is that particular storyline?
I don't know, but it's. I hope they reach it. I really want Netflix to reach it to see what they choose to do, because at the moment they have not cut things from the source material that might be considered problematic by the woke narrative, right? Especially that scene with Zorro and his childhood friend. And so far, they've been choosing to be correct to the source material. And if they choose to do that, I think that would be strong evidence that this is not a woke show and they're just trying to adapt the anime and manga accurately. So far, that seems to be the case. Season 2 didn't abandon that, and it doesn't fall into the Netflix curse either of being complete trash, because most Netflix season 2s are disasters, right? One Piece season 2, still pretty good, still pretty solid. Give it a watch if you're interested. If you're not interested, don't bother. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to watching. We're gonna watch another couple episodes tonight, probably. So.
Yeah. Episode 3, the big fight, sword fight, might be my favorite episode just because of the sword fighting. It was awesome. And then I enjoyed Sanji's parts. Like I said, like there's some interesting discussion about it, but overall, I'm thinking, okay, all right, keep going. Now, one of the issues is how long between seasons this is taking. Like, what did it take to get season 2? Was it 3-year gap or 2-year gap?
Isn't that long? Wow,
2 years.
It's been a while.
Yeah, like it took way too long for them to get season 2 out.
That's the problem with a lot of streaming shows lately, is that it's so long between show. Even if you have a hit show, it's so long between seasons that it just feels like it takes forever for. And it seems weird. You look back in the past, we used to get 22 episode seasons every year.
Every year. That's more special effects heavy seasons.
Yeah, but also special effects and production budget. Something that I need to mention about One Piece. Holy crap, the production budget they put into the sets of this season is bonkers. It's like almost the cost of, every episode would be the cost of a full-length feature film, it seems like. Because like every episode most of them have these really elaborate sets that would have cost a lot to make. Season 1, I have multiple sets within the city, especially some is digital, right? But in episode 3, the inside bar where the fight happens, that's a really impressive set, and it would have been an expensive set at that. And then they had the windmill, and then they have an entire town. The last 2 episodes, it's based around a town and then a castle. The castle is digital, but the town is fully built. It's like, holy crap. And it's actually impressive set work. So this series, it costs a lot. And maybe that is why it's taking so long to produce. I would be okay if you just get it out every year. I'm okay with less effects. Some of the effects, by the way, the visual effects are really good. Some are a bit wonky, but some are well, damn, I mean, for a TV show, the budget is very high and the production quality is actually quite impressive. Well, there you go. All righty. I think that was all the main topics that I wanted to hit today, but there might be one or two more. Let me just quickly go to my bookmarks. We covered that. I think we're kind of ready to start hitting the super chats and wrapping up. Hey, Litiv, I saw you repost the fight from The Witcher where that guy just like I have that bookmarked. I think I just want to do a reaction video just to that fight, just because
most people want to watch the show. Like, but I know it's not all like.
No, I'd hate the show, but seeing these insufferable characters just get completely murked by
this is what we need, though. I think we need a fantasy where we have like DI characters and they just get killed like all the time. They just get not just die. I mean, brutally murdered. Like this, their heads get chopped off. The guy slits the one girl's throat. Like this, he stabs that one guy, drags the sword down.
Just vicious, man.
Yes, I want to see DI characters brutally, viciously murdered, and it be they stay dead, and the guy who did it is the good guy. I want to see that happen.
I
mean, they want morally gray characters, right? So I mean, that would fit in their purview.
This gets pretty graphic and violent, so I can't really show everything.
Yeah, it's great. I've watched like 20 times.
What I kind of like about this fight scene, right? It's actually showing up. Usually when you have two people fighting in many modern media, they pull their blows. They don't take the obvious kill shots because the characters need to live. In this, the guy is messing with him. There are obvious kill shots that he doesn't take because he's just messing with him, and then he does take the kill shots just without any hesitation at all, and they're all freaking out, and it's like, oh, we finally see a master swordsman actually go for the kill and not hesitate. And then when he doesn't, it's just because he's messing with him, like this, like he decides to boot with him and kick him.
When the one girl does a flying leap towards him, and he just stabs her in the gut,
usually
rolls
works
out the way, Samoa Joe style, and he's like, "What was that?"
that usually works. Like the whole leap in the air and kill. That usually works, but this time he's like, oh, stab him.
Yeah, just stab, bang, take it out without.
I like the big fat guy. He's like, oh, Mr. Body Positivity here, stepping up. Like this is Antifa. He was fighting Antifa. That's what I thought. Without seeing the show, like this guy's fighting Antifa. Like just a bunch of Antifa freak shows, and so this big gigantic man just like steps up. And he just he gives him a fat joke, like, oh, it's a lot to get through. And then he stabs him in the throat.
The whole show be like this, you know?
Like this part is based.
I know, this could have redeemed the entire show there.
So based.
Like, this is the moment. She just saw him like kill one of, I don't know, I think it might be the fat guy, but one of them. And then boom, it's like, stab, done.
She's like, what? That's supposed to work.
Yeah, I know, right?
When he actually starts killing them, that's kind of what they all look like. They're thinking like that's.
I know their reality is breaking. This isn't supposed to happen. We were supposed to have plot armor. We're the progressive characters, and they're just like whoosh. But look, that does not redeem The Witcher. Is that season 3? I think it's season 3.
I think it's season 4. That's season 4. That's the Liam Hemsworth, the Timu Geralt season.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh. There were some other things we might have talked about, but it doesn't look like I have the right bookmark about what that like woke a video game about the lesbian night game.
Oh, yeah.
That didn't go over well.
1348 ex voto. That is just bombing.
I thought I bookmarked the comment where they said they had 250,000 wish listed people, and then like they launched their game with 400 people. I think they deleted that or something like that, or because I couldn't find the bookmark on that either.
Yeah,
I did.
Maybe they deleted because I had a bookmark. You're talking about like there was some person saying, "Oh, why would you go after this misogynist game trying to take a dump on Knight's Path," which is looking brilliant, by the way. Knight's Path is, but someone tried to make a dump on it. Oh, I found it. I did it, and so
like Never Peace Dude Bros or whatever.
So look at this lady. Imagine announcing your misogynistic medieval game, and then this is announced the same day. And this was in 1348 was released. And then Endymion is taking it's like, imagine over 43,000 likes and 2 million views on a post about the lesbian night game, and yet none of you showed up to buy it when it mattered most.
The Marn audience stayed home.
Yep. No one is giving a crap about that game.
The activists are loud, but they don't have any money, and they don't turn out for these projects. If they did, Batwoman would be in its 7th season, and it would be one of the highest rated shows if it was as popular as they want it to be. I wish I had saved the tweets that I saw. One of not only is it buggy, not is it just unappealing, it's also a little buggy. Somebody pointed out that there's no fall animations.
Yeah,
like,
I saw that.
If you fall off a height that kills you, it just cuts to black immediately.
Not only that, there's more like stuff about this game. Turns out, this was just a funny one of V making a dump on them, right? Where this is a promotional thing where they say, like, the actual developers, and someone asks, why do devs keep making intentionally unattractive female characters? Good question. They responded. This is such an activist response. Why do you expect a woman to necessarily be attractive, you misogynist? And he responds like, because she's not a woman. She's a product you want to sell me, you damn moron.
Literally an object. Yeah.
That is like, all right, V, well done. That is a great response. Because yes, this isn't a woman; it's a product. She's not real. But they were trying to project. It's like gamers expecting attractive fake characters, fictional characters. Like, as misogynist, how dare you expect women to be attractive for you? And it's like, it's a video game.
She's a video game character. It's kind of like when I used to say that we should get probably put back to the Joker. She never should do the Joker. Like, how dare you? He's abusive. She's an object. She is a character in a story meant to suffer for entertainment purposes. Get her back with the Joker. Yeah, have him be abusive. Crank that shit up.
So, Smash JT ended up looking into a bit of this, right? Where he actually found out that a lot of the funding for this video game was taxpayer sourced. Right?
Of course.
This is not a genuine indie game. So he says, like, I've discovered where the funding for 1348 ex voto actually came from, and it's way worse than we thought. After digging into the Italian public financial records, I found out that the developers Seedlo, right, received 650,000 euro in government tax credits, plus another 6,000 in grants from Italian Ministry of Culture between 2021 and 2024. That's 745,000 US and counting from taxpayer money. And they're just pushing it. And why? Well, it's a progressive game, you know? This game was heavily funded with taxpayer money to once again push propaganda for the state. The justification, the Italian government's cultural commission officially classified the game as a work of cultural value.
But if it sucks, what does that message imply? Like, you made a bad product.
Yep.
So it kind of taints your message with bad products, like we've seen so many that have done the exact same thing, like Dustborn and gosh, what was that other one? There was another one like that.
The one where
Forspoken.
The one where they're
Concord.
stealing? Oh yeah.
That one. That one, like, there was something reverse Indiana Jones where you're stealing from
stealing from museums. Oh my god.
Yeah. There's a reason why we have them in these things in museums, because they would have been destroyed otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, and so he dropped some of the references right here. It's like, so this game wasn't even a true indie game. It was pushed by state propaganda because it pushed the woke narrative. And that's where most of its funding got from. And then it still bombed massively. And so, man, Knight's Path, when that game is trying to release, is still several years off. But Knight's Path is going to just destroy, the performance of this one that's just been released.
Are you going to talk about that Nephilim game?
Oh, the Bible one. I've only seen trailers of that. Is that out? Like, because that looks interesting. I admit that looks interesting.
I have no idea. I just saw that.
I think it's just a trailer so far.
Yeah.
It's out. I haven't seen anything about it.
So Smashy's mentioning it. Imagine being an indie dev, moonlighting all your free time to create your dream game whilst busting your ass during the day to support your family, to see another just be funded by a government tax program to create propaganda pushing their communist ideology. At Knight's Path, man, I love these guys. They just like, that only makes any success for real indie devs feel more satisfying. Well said. Knight's Path is just based. And Smash is like, very true, still burns the F out of me with how uneven the playing field is. That's true. But Knight's Path, they're going to destroy that X Veto whatever game when it comes out by a mile. It's gonna be great. So I'm really looking forward to Nice Path and X Veto whatever game it was. Wouldn't you know? There's a woke piece of crap that no one bothered playing. All righty, let's grab these super chats. Nathan Cassidy.
Everyone's just tired of this stuff.
They
I
are.
think everyone's tired of this woke. It's kind of like they ever see that clip with Caleb Hammer from the financial audit guy, where he's talking to one of these weirdos. It's like, I'm so glad we don't have to listen to you people anymore.
The hilarious thing, he's not even like politically either way. He just holds, the reason they hate him is they holds up a mirror and makes them accountable for their own bad decisions, and the left hates it.
Yeah, because he does a lot of financial audits with like a bunch of woke people, and he's like going through all of their absolutely retarded financial choices, and you're like, oh, it's a system, it's capitalism or whatever. Like, no, it's you retard. And he's vicious about it too. He's just not holding back. Like, you're idiots.
He posted today. You know what he posted today? That people were accusing him of being overly mean. He says they ask for it. They want to come on the show for this purpose. For him to be mean to them. They're on that show because they want to be treated the way they are by him.
Don't feel bad for it. Yep. But hey, let's grab the super chats. Nathan Cassidy 721-499, our wonderful modern chat says, my reaction to Rachel Zegler's comeback can be summed up by an animated pelican from Finding Nemo. Oh, well, you just shut up.
Oh, you just shut up.
Oh, shut up. That's right. You said it way better than me. Oh, will you just shut up? I love it. I know, she makes it so much worse for herself. Just there you go. Faux Space Q for $5 says Selma Hayek, Stacey Dash, Shakira, Maria Carey, etc. The 90s was filled with hot Latinas. Zegler didn't see herself because she's not attractive. You said it, not me, but I am of the opinion that every woman that is not my wife is butt ugly. So I agree. Starry Night Official $5 says Mr. Popo is based off a specific god creature, not black. Also, Zorro's friend died by falling down a flight of stairs. Wow. So mundane death versus her ambitions. That is
no. I did hear from some people that falling down the stairs is like a Japanese saying for suicide.
Oh. Okay.
So I'm not sure if it's true, but I did hear that.
Okay, then. Well, that does put a narrative point on the event. McSkittles, member for 10 months, says, I wonder how they'll handle the Min X tribe in One Piece, considering they're basically anthropomorphic animals. Yeah. As well as the cross-dressing people as well. It's like, all right, One Piece. I'm very interested to see what you do.
The drag queens animals.
I don't know. Z Memura for $5 says, Shad, you know Bleach? I do know Bleach. It's all about swords. It's also the shortest of the long series at only 200 episodes, with the current final season being 40. I watched a chunk of of Bleach, not the whole thing, but I was good enough that I introduced my kids. My kids are sometimes saying, we want to watch something new. We've watched everything already. And I was like, watch Bleach. It's a long-running series. You got plenty of fun stuff, and they've been quite enjoying it. But they go on and off and back to it. We've been watching Freerun lately. And then Starry Night Official for $10 says, pretty sure there's only one confirmed trans character. Those aren't it. Yeah, they look like cross-dressers, not actual. But yeah. That guy's power is that he can switch between male and female and make others switch between male or female. Oh, really?
That's usually how it goes, right? Because that's Ranma half. That's Ranma also half. That.
Yep. Though, like, it's so. I've done a dedicated video on why Ranma half is so freaking based, man. Or Ranma 1/2. I've always just called it Ranma half. And it is so like traditional. Shampoo fighting desperately to be able to make her future husband dinner and lunch, and she's like, dutiful wife makes husband delicious lunch. And so it's like they're constantly fighting for all these traditional stereotypes. And Ranma, he hates his curse The fact that he is a very masculine male, coded character, and the fact that he turns into a girl when water splashed on him, he despises. Anyway, watch my video. I got a dedicated video if you want me to breaking down how based Run Mahath is, because it is based. But yeah, that is the kind of thing that you see in anime a lot. All righty, we are up to date on the chats. We hit some good topics this one. This was a fun one, guys. Thank you for joining us. And gentlemen, LitDev, anything you want to mention as we're signing off?
I do Morning Nonsense still every weekday around. I push it back to what was it, 9 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Eastern. So, or is it 8? What is it? Time changes. Yeah, it's I don't know, it's weird, but I do that every morning still on weekdays. But I do have a new video coming out this week. Finally, it's going to be about Game of Thrones, Heroes, and Night of the Seven Kingdoms. So,
based.
Pretty interesting.
I'm looking forward to that, man. All righty, Mike, that is a cool picture. Look at that. That's coming together. So that's the new Batman, isn't he?
Sorry, I muted myself. Yeah, this is a commission I was doing. One of my guys likes to do commissions where I do the main character, and then all around it I do like layouts for different characters, and then he sends it to different artists. Actually, I have to send it to different artists. But yeah.
Nice.
Absolute
cool,
Batman. So you can catch me on Whatnot. Just look me up on Whatnot, Mike S. Miller, or check out my what is it? I'm working on these strips for it's Dunkin' Egg Calvin and Hobbes style. It's on Instagram at Mike S. Miller Art or X at Mike S. Miller Art. So you can check those out there. I got some other stuff coming up, but can't announce it just yet. Like I said, I'm on Whatnot, so if you want to come and commission something, or if you want to grab some original art at very expensive prices, go by my website at mikesmillerart.com. I tell you what, man, those Game of Thrones, or not Game of Thrones, but those Hedge Knight pages did pretty well during that show. So,
yeah, dude.
Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I'm the artist for the Hedge Knight. This, in case any of you don't know who I am. So
legendary stuff.
That look familiar to anybody?
Yep.
That's me, the Miller part. So yeah. So I got, and that's George's signature. I should sell this.
Awesome. And John, anything you want to mention?
Nothing. I'm still in editing editing limbo, waiting for my book to come back from my editor so I can get that sucker ready to fire out, and plotting down my third book that's come out whenever. I'm not even going to try and say it'll be this year or next year. I'm bad at predictions.
I get it. I'm hoping I'll get my book out this year. But there's a lot of work. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. Once you finish that first draft, there's like all the second draft editing, and it's not a whole rewrite, but there's still a lot of stuff. I'm wanting to get this through to alpha readers, and then the official editing. And I've already get booking her in, and she does a great job. But then after I'm booking I've already booking the artist.
Do you consider the first draft to be after you finish typing the end, or do you wait until you do your first round of edits and then call it the first draft?
No, I consider that I consider once the very book is done and the end is put in, and if you have any epilogues, that's the first draft for me.
Yeah, that's the first draft.
I call that the toilet draft, because that's usually where the book belongs at that point. I wait until I do my first round of edits, and then I call it a first draft. It's just
okay.
That's the second draft. That's what Neil Gaiman says. That's when writers make it look like we knew what we were doing.
Yeah. What I do is, after every writing session, the next writing session, I go back to what I wrote the previous one and edit it right then on the fly, and then do it. And so, as a result, the book is on the end of my first drafts. It's actually somewhat fixed up with lots of typos, sentences, and things like that. But after the first draft is done, I'm interested. I don't care about the grammar, the typos, or anything like that. It's story. And alpha readers, tell me about the story. Did this make sense when this character did it? Do you feel something need to be fleshed out more here? Could this be cut? Did that drag it down? It's all about the structural stuff, not polishing the prose by any means, because whatever I need to change would need to be re-edited if I was already focusing on the prose. But once the story is locked in, and that's from alpha reader feedback, that's when I'm like, time to polish this bad boy. Let's sentence by sentence, let's go through it all, and that's where professional editing is very useful, and beta reading that comes into that. It's a process. I'm looking forward to it. I want to get
all my stories just come out perfect the first time. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Oh, you can tell yourself that, Mike. I'll let you believe it. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. This has been mad fun. It's good to be back, and we will see everyone next week on the Culture Crusade. Where are the bands? No, the media assets. That's all right. Thank you, everyone. We will see you later. Bye-bye.